Hi all, welcome back. I'm going to be talking today about adopting a cat. This includes a little bit of an introduction to my cat Lucy, or Lucifer, the process of adopting a cat, the price, the things that you need at home when you first bring your cat home, and then just like some fun things that I have sort of seen and figured out, little facts I guess, from having a cat for the last 2 years. Okay, so this is Lucy, or her real name is Lucifer, but everyone calls her Lucy. You're already going to be able to see her for a couple seconds because she's fidgety and she won't stay. But this is my baby. So she is a mixed breed cat, or a moggy, or a domestic breed, which means that she doesn't necessarily have any particular breed at all. She's just a mixed cat. Her assumed birthday is sometime in October 2017, which means that in October this year she'll be 3 years old. And I've had her for just over 2 years. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how much it cost in the first place to purchase her. So the adoption fee was about $100. I think if a cat is under a particular age, I think it's under like maybe 5 or 7 years, maybe 5 years, it costs a little less. So I think they charge a little bit less the older the cat is, because most people want a young cat that's full of life, so they end up charging more if the cat is younger. Her food initially was about $40. I ended up getting a big 7-kilo bag. Her vaccines, desexing, worm treatment and all of that was free at the start, but her first vaccine that I paid for after I adopted her was $90. It's roughly about $30 to register a cat with the council. And then for all of her extra stuff like her bowls, her toys, her scratching post, I think I spent at first about $70 on that. So altogether that is about $330, and that's what I sort of paid outright to first adopt her and get all the things that she needed. So the adoption process for getting Lucy was, I first went to the what am I trying to say? The adoption center, and had a look around and found her. After I decided that I wanted her, I needed to produce some sort of like ID and proof that I was living somewhere. So I brought in from memory obviously my photo ID, and also I think I would have brought my lease agreement, the agreement that I signed when I started renting this current property. And that was sort of, from memory, that was all the identification that I needed to sign and adopt her. After that, it was basically just payment and signing all the papers saying that I was going to take her over, And then the place that I went, you can actually take the cat the day that you sign the papers. So what I did was I signed all my papers, I paid for her, I left her there for like 2 hours maybe, went and got all the bits and pieces that I needed for her to have at home, and then I came back and picked her up. And she was already microchipped, vaccinated, desexed, tapeworm treatment, and yeah, I think that's all that she came with when I first adopted her. So the things that I first had for her when she first came home with me were water bowl and food bowl, scratching post, food, toys, litter and a litter tray, and a bed. Even though she didn't end up using her bed, she actually prefers to sleep on my bed or on like my clothes or whatever. She had one at the start, but she just didn't really use it. So I mean, I suppose you could like not have a bed if you wanted to, not buy like a little bed, but some cats like it. My cat just like did not fuck with it. She was just like, I want to sleep in bed, I want to sleep next to you, so, which is kind of cute. But yeah, those are the things that I needed when I first brought her home. After that, it was just a case of getting her used to my surroundings, used to being in this space and the other people that were in this house as well. I basically just spent a few quiet days with her alone in the house. I made sure that I adopted her on a weekend, so I had some time with her, and just like let her approach me, let her sniff me, let her explore at her own free will. And it really didn't take too long for her to sort of come out of her shell. There was like a point in time where she was like crawling underneath my bed and staying there for like, you know, 20-30 minutes on end before she'd come out and have an explore. But I think that's pretty normal for cats anyway. And then yeah, it didn't really take too much longer for her to sort of really become part of the family. I think probably only about 3 or 4 months into having her did she really come out of her shell and get very comfortable moving around the house, being around other people, and also letting us have visitors come over without her getting uncomfortable or hiding. So the 5 things that I think are really interesting after having adopted a cat for a while, and things that people don't often possibly like tell you that you need to do, but you work out as you go along. The first thing would be that the first few weeks are so important. I can still go out to parties, come home drunk, and do all that kind of stuff, and she's happy, like she's fine being alone. But those first few weeks you need to be at home. So I think every day after work, I would come home and spend a lot of one-on-one time with her, because the things that cats will do in those first few weeks is they'll find a mother type, father type, parent type to latch onto, and if you are the one that has adopted her, you need to be there. Otherwise she will totally either not be as comfortable around you if you live alone, or they might attach themselves to your housemates and not you, and then you've lost your cat. So totally recommend the first few weeks you really need to be the one giving it the most attention, because they will latch onto you. Secondly, clean water. I cannot stress how much clean water is important. I change her bowl every day to every second day, just depending on how much she's drank, you know, all that kind of stuff. So definitely change the water all the time. I know a lot of people who don't change their cat's water frequently, but it's actually, I think it's from memory, or like I read somewhere that it's like the thing that it gives them the most like health is a good bowl of fresh water. And along that same note, food is the one thing that if you are going to invest big money in a cat, do it into their food. You could buy them a fancy scratching post, but they'll probably end up scratching your couch anyway. You can buy them amazing toys that are electronic and have lasers and stuff, but again, they probably won't care about that as much. If you get a cat, the food is the one thing that you'll be putting the most money into. Third is mental health. A lot of people don't really talk about this when they're adopting a cat, but or a pet in general, but adopting a cat for me has been like the most amazing thing for my mental health. I think it's, for me at least, like they're just very pure, wholesome animals, and you know, a lot of time I'll come home after a long day at work, I just really feel like I've got something waiting at home for me, with a very pure love to give. There's been a lot of times as well recently, especially during lockdown, where I have felt quite lonely because a lot of my friends are either working or I can't go see them. So it's been nice to be able to have her around me every day, and she just follows me around like all the time, so I never really truly feel like I'm alone. So for mental health, if you are looking at getting a pet, I would totally recommend it, because yeah, there's nothing more rewarding, and honestly it was one of the best things I've probably ever done to help with my mental health. I don't know if you can hear that, but she's dragging her toy up the hallway. What's that? Did you bring me a toy? Thank you. So number 4 is houseplants. People don't often tell you this. There are so many plants you can't get with cats. I might put a photo up or leave a list somewhere down below of like common plants that you can't have in your house. Things like peace lilies, other plants that I can't remember, but you definitely can't have a lot of plants in your house. Cat grass is a really good alternative, because cats do like to chew on plants, and yeah, some of those plants that you can't have are actually really poisonous and can potentially kill your cat, so please be very careful. So cat grass is a really good alternative if you want to give your cat something natural to chew on, to help them try and avoid chewing on all your other plants. I find that for Lucy, anything that resembles grass, she really loves and will try and chew on, but anything that's like a big leafy plant, like this one here, she won't chew on it. So yeah, try to avoid plants in their reach, in your cat's reach, that resemble grass, because they will probably try and chew it. And number 5 is, a lot of people think that cats don't have personalities, or that they're very like independent, so you don't get to have a lot of fun with them. But cats have some of the quirkiest personalities ever. Some things that I've noticed with Lucy, some of like the 3 funniest things with her, is that she won't drink water out of a metal bowl. She only likes to drink water out of something ceramic. So I had to shift all of her metal bowls over to ceramic bowls. Second, she really likes to hide under rugs. So I've got a small little fuzzy rug on my floor, and she goes crazy over it. She will like dive underneath it. If I can get footage, I'll throw it in somewhere here. But she loves to like dive underneath it and hide under there. And I always throw her toys under there because she loves to go crazy underneath it. I don't know why, but it's very funny, because she'll walk into my room, see my rug, and then just like belly flop underneath it. And the other thing about her that I find really funny is that at night, when we're all sort of going to bed, She likes to walk up and down the hallway like yelling out for me. She just makes this deep like rowing sound, and it's very funny. I feel like it's also very cute. It's like she misses us because we've all gone to bed. And then if I ignore her or don't go out, like I'll respond to her with my voice, but I don't often try and like get out of bed. She'll grab her toys and drag them up the hallway and bring them to the bedroom. So I think that's very funny. So yes, cats do have personalities, not just dogs. I just wanted to finish off by saying that if you are thinking of getting a cat, I would totally say go for it. Obviously you do need to have some sort of financial security. So like you're not going to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on them a year. The main things that you spend are, you know, your once yearly vaccinations, and their food, and maybe a new toy. And that's pretty much all that you spend them on them during a year. But I would totally recommend going for it. It's a really rewarding thing looking after a cat because they are fairly independent, so they do look after themselves to a degree, but you do get a lot of love out of them as well once they bond with you. And like I said before, for mental health reasons, I really do encourage you to get a cat because, again, really rewarding, really satisfying. They're such beautiful creatures, and yeah, I really can't push that enough. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you do decide to get a cat, and if you do, just let me know. I'd love to see pictures. I'd love to talk about it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And let me grab Lucy so you can say goodbye to her. Come here. Come here. Come here. Say bye. Bye.